selfish.
Pacers have made the playoffs 2 consecutive years after missing them.
And therefore he's able to make those tough shots from deep, late in the clock. Great job getting them high percentage looks. That's unselfish play.
George drains it.
Look at him right here, how deep he is.
Now they put Paul George in an errant pass by Andrea Bargnani. And George with the finish.
You got to be able to deliver that.
They had West open momentarily.
Yeah, they got to see that. Because they had really hit with fronted. Paul George is...
Now David West gets it. Extra pass. Here's Paul for 3. It's good. 3.
Oh, you travel. But I've got to throw it to Roy Hibbert if I'm going to throw it anyway.
Paul George, jumper good.
And you saw that one of the challenges he had.
He's got size. He's 6'6". Here's Paul George. His 3. Good! 23 for Paul. And that's the first. Out to Paul for another 3. Good again!
He really is feeling it now. Now you got somewhere to go. And you can always look there. One more time.
Here's Paul George again.
Let it
for
go.
3. Good!
Let it go. Let it go, Paul George. Let it go.
Paul.
That was an offensive foul, too.
And here's Paul George for an 8th.
Yes, sir. He just got it stuck.
Two guy the other night and makes a bad pass, saved by Hibbert. Here's Paul George, a 3 again!
He barely caught the ball. That was 11 seconds on the...
He shows spurts, but he's just got to be a little bit there. See that defense right there.
After he comes on the run against Boozer, who fouls him, and West given ground by Boozer. George fires and scores. Paul is left wide open at the top and missed it, but the putback is good by Paul George. Butler on George, who scores in the lane. Again, reached in and raked that away. Now George to the baseline, up and good. Wow.
Oh, he's feeling it right now.
Ball touch pass right to Dang and stripped and stolen again by Paul George, and he comes on the run. Well, I'll tell you, he is a terrific defender.
Oh, that's what he came in as a defender.
He banks one in and draws a foul, and you don't take the ball away from him.
Not only did he get the steal, he reaches in, gets the ball, but he brings it coast to coast. He split Joakim right there. Now he sees Bellinelli on him, and he just like get out the way and just bullies his way to the basket.
Now they got to switch. George firing over the top and scoring. He got the switch he wanted. There's Jimmy Butler. Wheels, the fall-away jumper, and he poured it in.
A tough shot.
Hibbert, 3 seconds to shoot. 2. They have to force one up. And Paul George knocks down a 3. Oh my goodness, you let him play on. George all the way down. Tough shot, and he made it right back. Back to David West. 6 to shoot. George circles, fires. That's good. Tough shot again.
Well, he's got confidence right.
The other night when he missed a dunk. Now that is very unlike. Here's a jump shot by Paul George. Gerald home on Sunday and then play 10 of their next 11 on the road as Paul drills a 3.
God, he is just playing.
Use an iPhone. It's smaller. Here's Paul George and his shot is good.
Three-pointer for Paul. Point of the season for Paul George. He deserves a ton of credit.
Here's Paul again for 3.
And how many times have we seen that? This shot there by Thaddeus Young. We talk about his athleticism. Paul George finds a lane in transition. David West blocked.
Indiana has a chance to run the floor. Paul George, a 3. It's good.
Paul George from the right. How that bruise tightens up on him, and again, a great pass by Paul George. We're seeing a lot of interior passes out on the break. They do not have the numbers. George Hill's going to pull it out. Paul George goes to the rim for the emphatic dunk over the shot blocker, Sanders.
That'll get you going.
These minutes because of the history of knee helmets. Air ball, or actually a controlled tip there by Tyson Chandler. Clear, direct. Yes, George picked it off. Smith back. Here's George accelerating. Oh, what a move.
Yeah, there's not a lot at the defensive end.
Hill's pass deflected, shot clock to 3. This is George from downtown.
Back to back, had a career high 37 points.
And this is George on the steal and stuffs. 7 straight points for Paul George. George on the drive.
Nice. And this kid has so much. Nice dump down pass to Chandler.
Nice move by George. Stepping around Smith.
Has to be more active at the offensive end here for the Pacers in the fourth.
And there is the activity. The steal by George and the reverse stuff. Only 5 minutes. The steal by George. Smith back. George lays it home. Steal number 6. Shot clock down to 5. George with the step and lays it home as he stepped around.
Base riled up.
Paul George has yet to score in the game until now. Coming out of the timeout. Miami leading by 1. George with the steal. It's a 3-on-1. That's the type of ability he's got, JB.
Yep, absolutely. But anytime Indiana can get steals.
Ball fake, good defense and rebounded by George. Pacers looking to get an easy one here. Doesn't happen often. George with the hesitation. And 1. Wow. See if he lets him off the hook or attacks him here. Tries to attack with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Tough fadeaway. Got it! Oh, Paul George.
That's some big-time defense. But again, here we are. Got to happen on this end for the Heat to get back in the ball game.
Paul George with some handle.
I mean, I've always been a big believer. You got to have a star players. We see one right there becoming the star.
Let me ask you this, Jay.
West now finds Paul. George against the rookie Barnes. On the baseline. Shot clock goes off, and Paul George has 2 more points in him. Bad pass. Here comes Paul. Racing against Klay Thompson and hammers it.
Boy, and I'm telling you, Paul George got away with an offensive foul. But I think
first time. So he makes his Indianapolis debut tonight as Paul George against Klay Thompson.
that was a tough shot to make, and Klay Thompson guarded.
Paul George a 3.
He makes it. He wasn't ready really to take the shot. It just, this guy's been hurt. You try to see what he has. And here, Jack didn't have enough. He just didn't have enough. He's too little. That's a mountain.
And now with 3.5 to play, Indiana starts to pull away. Paul George again. Mark Jackson may have to call a timeout. Steal, bad pass by Ellis. Right to the basket.
Oh, you can't stand under there and wait for that.
George weaving his way in the lane, banks it in. He'll head to the free throw line. Teague has 10. George driving, contact, count it, and the foul. George right to the rim, and Petro committed the foul.
It was just a hesitation on his part. It opened up the lane to the basket. He took advantage.
Stevenson connects. Lance Stevenson. George driving right off the window with the left hand. 22 points for Paul George.
Part of the NBA rebounding.
Driving to the rim, and Sheldon Mack has it swatted away.
The return pass, and watch the run down here. Still on its way up. The officials do not call a goaltending. It's a great hustle play by George, saving that layup.
Against Korver. George thought about the 3 instead. The pull-up pop. He's got it.
That's nice. I like that type of pull-up. Get into of him being able to prove it this year. He's just exploded. We talked about Paul George knocking out that jump.
George defended by Deshaun Stevenson. George contested. He hits.
Now that's
in the heads of the Pacers. It hasn't happened. George fend off. Book it. Paul George, it rims in.
One shot clock here at 5. This is Paul George to close. And George uncorking the frame. Entry pass to George, takes it right into.
Match up with Hibbert. He said, I'm the X factor in this series. I have to dominate and get on your young team down.
Miami up by 1. His shoulder.
An explosive move here by Paul George. Just gets right in.
14 points. Indiana right back. Look at the second. Ball's deflected away. West. George fires for the tie. He got it! George with a three-pointer to tie the game with 7/10 of a second.
And he got caught in between Haslam and LeBron James and decided just to raise up and take the three.
I thought George should have taken Udonis Haslam off the dribble and shot a three 4 seconds before that. He elected to try to run the play out.
George tripped up. It counts in the foul. Paul George will head to. Hill takes it back. We're down to 3. 2. George for 3. And he was fouled. He's 7 of 8 at the line. He missed one in the fourth quarter. Hearing it from this crowd. The game is for the lead. Miami does have a timeout left. And Hill gets it across to George. Paul George, who came on strong in the second half the other night, is able to knock Miami hit its previous 5 shots. Here's the lob, and George is able to finish. Beautifully done by Stevens. Shot clock at 5. George. Nice stroke once again. Here comes George, got the step and stuffs. What a move! It counts in the foul. He beat LeBron James with that quick step. A sensational move by Paul George. Shot clock down to 3. Here's Hibbert, able to hit on that jump hook. Flipped it to Young. Shot clock to 5. George for 3. West along the baseline. George, yes. So Paul George off to us very quickly. Good start for Mario Chalmers. Played well in game 4. Here's George, another 3. That's his 3rd of the George, Hansbrough, and Hibbert up front. Here's George for 3. So Paul George laid off the fake and had it taken away by West. George going right at James, so 6 unanswered. He just checked in, not able to handle it. George is right back. Miami gets back, and George in the face of Bosch, serving up a facial. He's going to pick LeBron up. Here's George for 3. Paul George. Hibbert. He did earlier in the series. Here's George. Paul George, an impressive bounce back by Indiana. George for 3. His 3rd. Paul George with a new playoff career high with 28 points. Nice pass from George. Stevenson puts it down.